Analysing the Mohamed Salah comments after Leeds United drew with Liverpool 3-3. Mohamed Salah came out and made some very big comments. We're talking 5 or 6 quotes. Absolutely massive, slagging off the likes of Jamie Carragher, the manager, even implying he could be looking for a transfer in and around the time of the Africa Cup of Nations. Leave your comments down below. What do you think about this situation? Make sure you subscribe as well. And we'll break down what happened against Leeds United for Liverpool in this game as well. 5 things we learned. Let's just skim over some of the quotes because they are box office. They are Hollywood. The club has thrown me under the bus. He says, someone doesn't want me in the club. I've done so much for this club down the years, especially last season. Now I'm sitting on the bench and I don't know why. Let's just start off with that one. He's on the bench only for 3 games. I know for an icon of modern football for Liverpool, one of the great players of this era of the Premier League, sitting on the bench for 3 games is a big problem, frustrating. But ultimately, he hasn't warranted starting on the right for Liverpool. When Liverpool plays Szoboszlai off the right, who was great against Leeds, scored a great goal. They're defensively compact. They are more fluid in possession. Maybe they lack that cutting edge of Salah striking things from the right-hand side on his left foot. But you have to say Liverpool weren't getting that from Salah anyway this season. Now he's entitled to get back into his side and prove everyone why he's one of the great Liverpool players of all time, because he certainly is. But Leeds United away, just after it could have lost the game to Sunderland if it wasn't for Chiesa heroics on the line at Anfield midweek. So Salah doesn't deserve to start this game, in my opinion. He doesn't. I think Liverpool have to focus on not losing at Ellen Road. Tough place to go. They've just beaten Chelsea, of course. So 3 games. This isn't 10 games. This isn't 8 games. 3 games, and he's making complaints, particularly when there's so much football to come. I know he's got to go off with Egypt for the Africa Cup of Nations, but there's still so much football for Liverpool to play this season. They're still in the Champions League. They could go on an FA Cup run. He's got, obviously, lots of room in the league to improve. They're 10 points behind Arsenal, but things could have opened up when Arsenal lost and they'd won. Suddenly you're looking at 7 points. It could have been 6 or 5 if they'd beaten Sunderland. They're not a million miles out of coming 3rd, 2nd, maybe even having a late title push run. I'm not even gassing. Salah throwing the club under the bus this early feels absolutely ludicrous. He talks about, I got a lot of promises in the summer so far. I'm on the bench for 3 games. They don't keep their promise. The promise Liverpool made is a legal one. It's called a contract. They gave him one of the biggest contracts a 33-year-old footballer is ever going to get. Might be the biggest contract in the history of football for a 33-year-old. Certainly in the Premier League. Maybe Messi got a better one, or when one of these lads went to China, for example, or Saudi Arabia. But in the Premier League, has a 33-year-old ever gotten close to £500,000 a week? When really the Liverpool policy is to replenish and move the likes of Sadio Mane on and Luis Diaz, etc. When they're a little bit over the hill, move them on quick, bring someone in young, a little bit cheaper. That's the FSG model. It's worked very, very well, you have to say, in terms of the finances. But they broke that to give him a massive contract, security for his family for the rest of his life. And he's been benched for 3 games, and now he's talking about promises that hasn't been met. His promise to Liverpool was to be a loyal servant to the club, which he has been, up to this interview where he's talking about potentially leaving. That's the promise. This is called a contract. Like, you get paid whether or not you start football matches or not. You get paid if he gets injured. If he was injured right now on the bench, he couldn't play, he'd still be getting paid from Liverpool. That's what the promise is. We don't have any kind of relationship, he says about Arne Slot. I mean, Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah are, on some level, one of the most compatible relationships Mohamed Salah is ever going to have as a manager. He didn't get any game time with Mourinho. He was young. You think about, obviously got managed at the likes of Basel, Roma, for Egypt. These managers, I'm sure he has got a lot of respect for. They're not top-level Premier League winning managers. Arne Slot's arguably coached him and given him a setup last season where he had his best ever season, except for maybe his first season when he first came to Liverpool. But for some people, it's better than that. The amount of goals that he got last season. So to say he has no relationship, maybe Arne Slot's been a little bit cold. Maybe Arne Slot hasn't given him a reason why Szoboszlai is starting ahead of him. But Arne Slot's got a lot of flaws to his game, in my honest opinion. That's down to tactics and certain decisions and whatever. But ultimately, Arne Slot comes across as a very likeable, friendly character. Maybe he's a bit too soft. And he's not someone that throws players under the bus. unnecessarily. You can honestly say Guardiola, for certain points in his career, has actually thrown players under the bus because his philosophical principles are bigger than any one player. He's done it with Zlatan. He's done it with certain players, Sami Eto'o, Ronaldinho. And you have to say that Arne Slot isn't this kind of guy. I think Arne Slot isn't that kind of top-level manager. Like, ultimately, Salah would be starting in this game. They'd play 4-2-3-1, and they'd keep it simple. That's what Arne Slot likes. But because of the additions of the new signings, because of the struggling form of Salah, he's had to change things. It's down to necessity, not down to ego. I think Salah thinks this guy's Guardiola. He's certainly not. Tomorrow, Jamie Carragher is going to go for me again and again. That's fine. I kind of side with Mohamed Salah on this one. I think Jamie Carragher speaks very well about football. He's a Liverpool legend. I do feel that he's come out a couple of times on Konate, on Salah, maybe over the top. Maybe a couple of times too many. I think the points are fair. I think as a Liverpool fan, he has the right to say whatever he wants, more than I do about football, for obvious reasons. Champions League winning player for Liverpool. But there is an idea that I think he does. I think he puts a lot of pressure on these Liverpool players with the platform that he has. And I think Mohamed Salah is maybe getting to him a little bit. Maybe it's harsher on Konate, because I think he's slagged off Konate a lot more than Mohamed Salah this season. The final comments, leave your comments down below what you think about this. But I will be at Anfield to say goodbye to the fans and go to the Africa Cup. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm there. This kind of strange implication that he's going to move on is absurd. Now, if Liverpool think that it'd be the right move for them, then fair enough. But player power over the size of a club like Liverpool is absolutely disgraceful. If he's angling for a move when he's contracted to Liverpool at this point in his career where he's been absolutely dross the last few months, like, Liverpool are bigger than Steven Gerrard, Graham Souness, Mark Lawrenson, Alan Hansen, Mohamed Salah, Torres, Alonso, Carragher, Hyypiä, all combined. Liverpool are the institutions of world football. Who does this guy think he is? And by the way, when Ronaldo did something similar with Piers Morgan with Manchester United, it was embarrassing. And Ronaldo's top 2 of all time in the history of football. Salah's not top 30 in the history of football. Like these are the facts. He's top 5 of this generation of the Premier League. That's it. He's not top 5 in the history of the Premier League. So who does this guy think he is? He's a legend for Liverpool. He's been brilliant last season. But these comments feel flippant. They feel reactionary. They feel needlessly volatile. There's so much to play for Liverpool this season, including the European Cup, where a lot of people think they've still got a decent chance because of their experience, because of how well they did last season. I'm not saying that they're likely to win the Champions League, but they're certainly in there. I'd say they're more likely to win it than Arsenal. That's how I see it, because of their experience, because of the fact they've won 6 Champions Leagues in their own right. That's just how I see it. I think the Salah situation is an absolute disgrace. We're in football in 2025, and you get benched for 3 games. And let's just go back to the original point. He got benched after he got trusted every single week and was absolutely pants. He must have been starting 15 of the first 20 games. He started every single game at the start of the season. And he's been absolutely rubbish. That's down to him. Like, maybe his legs have gone. Maybe Liverpool shouldn't have rewarded him with a contract, but he accepted the contract. So you've got to take what comes with poor performances for a club like Liverpool. Liverpool looked really good going forward against Leeds, you have to say. I know it's Leeds United, but they ripped them open with precision passing. I mean, the Szoboszlai third goal for Liverpool, first time throughout the lines, Gravenberch's ball into Szoboszlai, left by Ekitike. Absolutely brilliant. I thought Wirtz moved the ball quite well. I thought Bradley's crossing into the box was absolutely fantastic. Gravenberch moved the ball very well. Curtis Jones as well. I thought Liverpool are still looking a little bit better than the last couple of weeks. There was a point where they looked really, really off. And right now, moving forward, I think they've found a little bit more balance with Szoboszlai on the right. Ekitike, for me, there's 2 finishes. Obviously, the second one a little bit scrappy from the keeper, but it's a great ball and it's still a great finish. The first finish from Ekitike is unbelievable. Now, I slagged off Ollie Watkins in the Arsenal game because he should have scored one very similar at a very similar angle, and he goes across the keeper. Sometimes going near post against the keeper is such a genius little strike because it blindsides the keeper. Ekitike's finish, the first one, was absolutely brilliant. Now, obviously, there's some big issues defensively for Liverpool. They've drawn a game against Leeds United. They should never be doing that. Konate on Gnotto was absolutely embarrassing defending. They have to take this guy out, man. They have to take Konate out of this game. I know Joe Gomez maybe isn't fit enough to play 2 games a week, 1 game every 3 days, whatever you say. Is there a world you can put one of these other lads in there? Could you put Endo? Endo at centre-back. I know it's ridiculous. Can you play a back five? I'm just throwing questions out there because Konate's in a world of pain right now. Szoboszlai is brilliant. Gravenberch defending for multiple occasions where Leeds get back in the game. Shocking. Letting runners go in behind him. Gravenberch, for me, should be playing where Wirtz is playing. Or Gravenberch should be playing deep, but he has to have a ball winner off him. I'm not sure if Curtis Jones is that figure. They need to sign someone in January. Maybe it's Baleba. I think his price probably gone down a little bit after a flat season. Could you go and get a Baleba? Could you go and get someone that takes the ball off of the opposition like a Caicedo? I think Liverpool need that desperately. I actually thought Conor Bradley was great. I know he's come back from injury. Even last season, obviously injured for large parts of it. I think Bradley's the answer at right back. I don't think it's Szoboszlai. I don't think it's Joe Gomez, who is a little bit stiff at right back. I think he's defensively very solid. Thought he was good against West Ham United at right back. But for me, Conor Bradley is the one if you can keep him fit. Liverpool, look, I'm not going to say it's as bad as it was a few weeks ago on the pitch, but the Salah situation for a 3-3 draw, these guys haven't lost 10-0. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't come off the bench to change the game, and really, it's down to Konate, it's down to Gravenberch that Liverpool drew the game when they should have won it 3-2. It's not, Salah wouldn't have got them back into this game, I don't think, based on current form. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation. It's embarrassing, really, in modern football where we are. Player power is egregious, to say the least. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you very, very soon.